other things that you have already advised us to throw in the bin, because that is not who God is. That's the magnitude of what love is, and it also captures what Sheila was said earlier, that in order for you to love, you need to start with yourself, because you cannot give out of a place of emptiness. You cannot give what you do not know. You cannot give what when you're running on empty. So you have to start with your own self, to appreciate yourself, to value yourself, to settle in all thoughts and aspects of who you are, for you to also project or to give that to the next best person. So you've given me some food for thought when you keep saying that
Yes, I
God
am on
is
and off,
not
but yeah.
that
Continue, continue.
um, God is not jealous, and God is not um, all the other attributes that we always give Him. So that for me is
Yeah.
something that I will chew on. Um, yeah,
You don't have to
but
choose that one, eh? You have to just work on it because, you know, but it's not even a one-way traffic road, eh? Yani, it's not a two-way traffic road, but it's one way. This one is a one-way road because, hii haina choice. Let me tell you one thing. Immediately, there is something you cannot love. Immediately, there is something you cannot love, It's out of separation with that. When Mekwambia love is very tricky, this thing people have to practice. Immediately, you do not love something, you separate with it. And this is the mistake we make. Anything which we do not prefer, we should always approach it at a neutral standpoint. That yes, this is presenting itself, but for me, I don't prefer it, and it doesn't affect me because of its existence. It cannot do anything to me, and I'm doing whatever I'm preferring. Like, hey, I know you are Christian. I know this is Christianity, but I don't prefer it. I am Muslim. Uh, but even though it exists, it does no harm to me. So I, it's okay. It can exist. Me, I prefer to take Islam. I prefer this one. Then not giving the other, the opposite one, an identity, like you don't prefer it, or oh, that is another religion, they're worshiping a wrong God, this and that. Immediately you do that, it becomes hard because when you do that, you have separated God. So that which you remain with is not God. When you say I am Christian and the other person is Muslim, we are separated. That which you remain with is not God because God is not in half. Anywhere you put a fence, anywhere in families, workplaces, politics, football games, everything, God is not there. Immediately there is separation, God is not there. Because that is not God. So when I say everything is love, it's because only love exists in the universe. Only love, nothing else. Because even to embrace the devil, one must have the love of the devil. To embrace Satan, one must have the love of Satan. To embrace darkness, one must first have the love of darkness. So only one thing exists. This one, Carol, you have to know. Only one thing exists. It is called love because everything comes from it. Out of love of evil, you become evil. Out of love of Satan, you become satanic. It is out of love. Love is the only source. Love is the only source of creation. Love is what God is. He is not biased. Where you focus is where he goes. Where you focus is where you go. He goes. When you focus him to the in the evil, to the devil, you become evil. When you focus God to to Satan, you become satanic. It is out of love of that you become that. Out of love, only love exists. Nothing else. Everything is out of love. Everything. Even the chairs you have now, your bed sheets, you didn't just you did just like you are in a car, then you just grab them on a racing car, and you have grabbed everything. You went and chose. These are the bed sheets I want out of love. I loved this one. I love these shoes I've bought. I love this refrigerator. I love this company. I love this school. I love this. I love this religion. I hate that one. I love this one. Out of love. Out of love. Everything. It is only love which exists. I love people making I love making people cry. You become heartless. So I become heartless. It is only love which exists. Only love. And it is the only love of God. It is in the only love of God where you experience God. If you have never experienced God, you have never, like, you are just in existence. Existence is what God is. You are just in existence, not participating. Because everybody else is participating, but you are not participating. When you are not experiencing God, you are not participating, like experiencing in the positive side. But let me tell you one thing: we are experiencing God in negative side big time because we are always participating in something negative. Negative is participating in our minds, in our thoughts, in whatever we say. We are participating. Very easy. Yes, Susan Kavilu, Sheila, Susan Kavilu, Sheila and Susan Kavilu. You can unmute to unmute. Susan Kavilu, Sheila, Sheila. Yes, Susan.
Simon, you cut me short, eh?
Yeah.
What I was saying was this, that you are defining God as not a judgmental God and not a furious
Mm.
God. That is the food for thought I was saying I was going to chew on. That
Yeah,
is what I meant.
I understood. Actually, I understood.
So
I understood them. And
my question would be, where do
mm,
you place God as a righteous judge? If, because my understanding would be that I should love as He loves,
mm,
and of by the same nature, I should hate what He hates. So where would you
mm,
place Him as a righteous judge? That was the line of thought I was taking.
oh, okay. So me, for me, I will say this. We should love like God love. We should hate what God hates. Like this is well, actually, God hates like in that aspect of that. God hates what is not godly. Right, Carol?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me just a question. Let me ask you. Mention one thing that God is not. One thing only that God is not. That God lacks. Mention one thing that God lacks. That God is not. We humans, we can have that God does not have. He lacks that. Mention one thing that is not of God, that is not within God. One thing only that is not within God, it is outside of God. One thing, then you'll get the answer of whatever you want to know. Then I'll give you a very good answer. You just identify anything in the universe, anything you know in your perception. One thing that God lacks. You have it in abundance. A human can have it in abundance, but God can lack that one. Or one thing that is outside of God. One thing which is not godly. One thing which is not of God. That is where the trick is. That is where the trick is. Because when I've asked this question, a lot of this question to many people, and I'm telling someone, just mention one thing that God is not, or mention one thing that is not of God, or is not godly, or mention one thing which is outside of God. No one has an answer to this because everything is God. And he said clearly, everything that is God. Yes, it could. Carol, my sister. Uh, uh, I'll tell you this. God sees everything as God. God is not biased. The Christ within, when God created Adam and Eve, this is what he told them. This is what he told them. Of the tree of knowing good and evil, you shall not eat. And that day you eat out of it, you shall surely die. I told you about the trinity of consciousness. The looker, there is the seer, that one who sees, the looker, that one who looks, and the sin, that one which is sin. The seer is the Christ or the Spirit. This one is not biased. Do you know why it's not biased? Because nothing exists outside of itself. Everything is God. everything, it sees everything as itself. It knows everything is within itself. So it does not see this or that. It sees everything as itself, everything as God. Then there is the looker. This looker is the physical us, the physical mind that judges the good and the evil. That day you partake of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die. This is which kills the physical mind, is that judges, is the one who judges this is good and this is evil. That which judges is not God, it is the physical mind. God cannot judge anything because everything is God. Within God, nothing exists outside of God. Nothing, even a single thing. Everything is within God. So, therefore, everything is godly. Even in that darkness, behind it is God. I create the good and I create light and darkness. I bring the good and evil. I, the Lord God, does them all. Outside that negative situation, behind it is God. Just yours is to know that everything is God. When you claim the God in that negative situation, when you claim the God in that negative person, the divine rises. That divine love rises above that situation, above that negative person, as you experience that which has risen, not the negativity. And that's why the Bible says everything works out for the highest good for those who believe in God. The reason why everything works out for the highest good for those who believe in God is because everything is God. That's why everything works out for the highest good for those who believe in God. When something is negative, is, by the way, we are not people, we are not here like, stop playing pre-religious. Pre-religious. This is what people are doing nowadays. People, we have to know that everything is God. God can never judge. And this is why I say God can never judge. How do you judge what you are? I'm telling you, this is the one simplest question. How do you judge that which you are? You cannot judge that which you are. And that is God, because everything is God. If you see a drunkard, my friend, it is God expressing himself as that. When you see a demon, people, this is the definition of a demon. A demon is God expressing himself as. You think God, let me tell you one thing. Do you think when God told Adam and Eve of the tree of knowing of good and evil, you shall not eat? Do you think that serpent which came and told Eve to eat, you think it was another source of creation? It was the same God. He went back with another face. And when he asked Adam, who told you that you are naked? It was not out of anger. It is because God was just surprised, like, wow, who told you you are naked? There is a reason why that tree was planted there. And so is the physical mind. You know, Adam and Eve were told that they were the highest beings, the guardians. When they were created, they were told they were the guardians of of the universe. And so they were when they were created, they were put in the Garden of Eden. And they thought that if this, why are we here? If we are the guardians who are going to make the universe a better place, why are we in the Garden of Eden? If we are here to make this universe a better place, where we are supposed to be, we are supposed to go down there in the lowest realms and fix the foundations. That's why they ate of the tree of good, and it is good. That's why God was not angry. God was like, wow, now they know why they are here. Then they dropped back. That's why we are here to fix this place. God is not what we have been taught. He is not a judgmental. Do not give any attribute to God. Do not give any human attribute to God. I am not a man. Your holy work says so. I am not a man. Do not give any identity. Do not, if you want to experience God, my brothers and sisters, if you want to experience God, do not give God a limited identity. I said it earlier. When you walk in the fear of God, you will attract a frightening God. He will frighten you, even in the times of prayer. Immediately you switch those lights off. You have that fear. Like he can come from behind you and smack your head off. Do not give definition to God. Any kind of definition and description. Do not. This one, it has a disclaimer. Do not even try to think about it. We have been programmed to do that. That's why we were stagnated. We were stagnated because we were stagnated because of that. We have been told to limit God. By ourselves. You are given a gun to shoot yourself. Do not give any definition to God. Who has seen God? Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. No one. No one. No one. Even what you call as angels. No one. Even what you call as the highest angelic beings, the highest of the highest. No one has seen God. People, wake up. God is a mystery. Yeah. People, no one has seen God. Everyone is journeying. Even the highest beings, they are journeying, seeking this mystery. The primitive race, humanity, have given final definition of God. He's a being, a judgmental one, a special place where he roasts his enemies. But he tells us to love and forgive our enemies. People, wake up. There is no God who can tell you, who can instruct you to forgive and love your enemies, while himself he roasts his enemies. Forget about that. Do not give. If you want to experience God, I'm telling you, do not give final definition to God. And let me tell you one thing. You, do not, I said, do not give any final definition to God. And you have to know one. There is one thing which I said earlier. Everything is God. Do not give final definition to anything. Do not give final final identification, definition, and description to anything. Do not. When it is a negative situation, know that no, this one shall pass through. Nothing remains the same. Everything changes. This is what the universe is. Continuous, gradual process of creation and evolution. Everything changes. Do not give a final definition to anything. Every day I'm telling you, today it is a table, tomorrow it is firewood. The day after tomorrow it is ashes. The next day they are minerals. The next day they are the soil. The next day they are going in the plants. The next day they are in the mangoes. The next day they become mangoes, you eat them. Everything changes. Today it's a refrigerator, tomorrow is a chicken, you make it a chicken house. The other day it's a scrap metal. Then the other day, back to earth, elements again, and minerals. Everything changes. Everything changes. Now there is nothing under this sun which is permanent. Therefore, as above, so below. If here everything changes, let me tell you, tomorrow's God is greater than yesterday's God. What is the same? Yesterday, today, and tomorrow is that pure essence of God, which is love, which is not biased. Where it is focused is where it goes. Where if you take it towards the negative path, you do evil things big time. When you take it to the path of goodness, you do good things. I create the darkness and I create the light. I create good and I create the evil. I, the Lord God, does them all. This is the love. The love does them all. And it sees everything as itself. Non-judgmental. There is no angry God. There is no angry God. God is not a man. He's not stupid. The reason why we are experiencing a stupid God, I told you. If you dump God, he dumps you back. When you give God a stupid perception, that is the same perception you're going to experience of the God. He'll give you the same. You are telling me you are branding me to be an angry God. Let me show you my anger. You are branding me to be a furious God. This is my fury. When you walk with the knowing that God is love, you experience the love when you know. The reason why you are told to be still and just know. This one has got no practice, no job, no work, no nothing. This one takes nothing. It doesn't even take your breathing. You just have to be and just know. Be still and know. God is never a man. That's why humanity, we are having a hard time to wake up because we have been disconnected to the pure essence of who we are. They have never told us, hey, Within, focus within since we are young. Focus within. We are told, no, go to the Quran, go to the Bible. Go to the Quran, go to the Bible. Go to the mosque, go to the church. They never told us, go back within. If they taught us this since we were young, this planet could be already ascended. Will not be here. Trust me, this generation will not be here.
So,
That's why
Samuel, if
Jesus
I may
told,
ask,
yeah?
so what would be the part of Christ manifesting in according to you? What would be his part in all
The
this?
Christ,
When the word manifested,
Christ.
yes.
Let me tell you one thing. This is what the word manifested into flesh. In the beginning, the word was with God. The word was God. Then it manifested into flesh. It was not the flesh of Jesus. It manifested into flesh. Actually, I don't know. I wish I could have opened my in my 1610 Bible here. It the word did not manifest into flesh. It manifested into matter. This is what it says. You forget about the new translation, the yesterday's translation, and today's afternoon translation. It says, and the word manifested into matter. This is what matter is. Material. This is what matter is. Matter. Thing from the earthly manifestation into physicality. Matter is physicality. Anything of physicality is manifestation of the Christ. That word, which was God, which was with God. And that is the greatest reason why God of the Christ sees everything as itself. Because it is but, everything is but the manifestation of the Christ, of that word that became material. It was not about Jesus that he became into flesh. He was the word. It wasn't about him. Let me tell you about a story of one book which is called the Gospel of it is the Gospel of Judas Iscariot. It's an apocryphal text. This is what Jesus told his disciples. They were seated down there. He found them having a religious ritual, Eucharist. They call it Eucharist. Then he was laughing at them. Then they asked him, Master, why are you laughing at us? This is what he said. I'm laughing at what you are doing, the rituals you are doing, but the rituals will work for you because whatever rituals you are doing, you are serving your God. And they were shocked, and they asked Jesus, are you not the son of the God we worship? Jesus told them this. You 12 guys, you and the generations to come, none, in capital letters, underline, you and the generations to come shall never know whence I cometh from and who my father is. My friend, no one knows God. I shall never know. It was not because Jesus knew his disciples were in the flesh. They were just focused on the physical Jesus. On the physical, they were just, Jesus said, hey, people, the works that I do, you guys, you can do greater than this. Stop looking at me. Focus within you. Because he knew it was about Christ. in him, not about the Jesus. Jesus didn't become the Christ. He became Jesus. Let me tell you one thing. There is a verse which says this. If I am wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Which says this. Many shall come in my name. Many, many, many shall come in my name, saying that I am the Christ, and they shall deceive many. Let me repeat this verse and listen to it very carefully. Many shall come in my name, and they shall say that I am the Christ, and they shall deceive men. And they shall say, I am the Christ. I Jesus. I Jesus. People will come in my name, saying that I Jesus am the Christ, and they shall deceive men. This is what has gone down. People wake up. Jesus, this verse is very clear English. To understand this, you need to go up to class 2. There's no parable, there's nothing there. Thou shalt not kill is thou shalt not kill. It's not a parable. Many shall come in my name, saying that I am the Christ, and they shall deceive men. This is what has gone down. This is the shit which came down. Many came in Jesus' name, proclaiming that Jesus is the Christ, and they are still deceiving many, many, many billions of people. And when you ask them, what about this verse? They will tell you it is written citarically. I don't know citarically. Jesus was not meaning. They shall say he was meaning them. If he was meaning them, Jesus, this is what simple English would be. Many shall come in my name, claiming or saying that they are the Christ, and they shall deceive men. Coming, claiming, saying that they are the Christ, and they shall deceive men. But Jesus clearly said, men shall come in my name, saying I am the Christ, and they shall deceive many. They are deceiving many people, even the day after tomorrow. This is what it was not about Jesus. It was the Jesus Christ. It was about the Christ in Jesus. Because when they came and this is what Jesus, when they were looking for Jesus and he was not there in the tomb, this is what he asked them. Hey, damn people. They were just running. Listen, damn people, monkeys, listen. Why are you seeking the living among the dead? Because the physical Jesus died, but the Christ. Let me tell you one thing. That Christ never died. Because it was, it is, it shall be. Why are you seeking the living among the dead people? Why are you seeking the Christ in Jesus? Why are you seeking the Christ that lives there, and you are seeking him in the Jesus who was buried in the tomb? This is what Jesus meant. You are seeking the Christ that lives in a tomb. For sure, you guys. Religion has took us down the drain completely. That's what I'm saying. Sheila, Brother Kennedy, welcome. Regina, Karibu. Sheila,
Yeah.
welcome.
You know, Salim, you still have not
Yes.
answered my question. You took a different tandem.
What was your?
I was not talking about Jesus. I was just asking,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Christ.
where is
Christ.
the aspect of Christ
I asked.
manifesting into flesh?
I
Mm.
asked. What? So what?
Mm.
What is his part? That is the question. Whether he's you want
Which Christ?
to
Jesus Christ
whe-
or the Christ in Jesus?
whether you
Let me tell
want
you one thing.
whether you want to say he was matter and I say he was flesh is neither here or there.
Mm.
The thing is that the word manifested.
Mm.
Okay. So what was the point of him manifesting? That is my question.
Oh, what was the point of him manifesting into flesh?
That was the question, yes.
Ah, I no problem. I expounded further, and maybe something was gotten out of that as well. Everything works out for the highest good. Let me tell you one thing. This is what happened. This is the story of God. In the beginning, he was alone, God, like a evil. Those titles of the omnipresent, omni-absent, omni-this, omni-that, the creator, the infinite creator. He didn't have anything. He was not in the state of anything aware. He was not aware of anything. God was one. Then he like he was lonely. Don't be told that he wasn't lonely because that he's one, but he wanted to experience that oneness. And you cannot experience oneness when you are one. In order to experience oneness, you have to have an other, any other, another. This word another has got two words, any other. There is supposed, in order to to become aware of yourself, there is supposed to be any other of yourself. Any other of yourself, another of yourself. Then out of that oneness, is where awareness comes from. So the in that intent is God to experience the oneness. Because oneness cannot be experienced by one, but it can be experienced by one, by another of itself. That's why God created man out of the image of his likeness. There should be another one of your likeness. There should be another one of your likeness to experience oneness. So God wanted to experience oneness, but poor old man, when you have expectations, disappointments will always be dancing around. He created man in his own image, own likeness. And then man started running away from God. This is what happens. God wants oneness, we're running away from him with our Bibles and our Quran. We meet someone on the road. Hey, why are you running? God is good. God heals. God this. Okay, let's continue. And that guy even doesn't look behind. He starts running. Doesn't know what people are running about, are running for, not knowing that everyone is running away from God. But no one can run away from God because the omnipresence of God, God is everywhere. It's even in your strand of air. So when you run, you're running away from yourself. So, my sister, the only reason why it manifested into matter of physicality or form is to experience oneness, awareness. Awareness comes from experiencing of oneness. And there should be another of likeness or image. Same like you, the true copy of the original. There should be a true copy of the original for the original to have a way. I don't know where you understood me. There is an original paint. There is an original paint. This is original paint. It cannot be aware of itself unless it makes an original copy of itself in its likeness and image. Then when it looks at that, it is aware, oh, this is what I am. That is what awareness is. Being that. My sister Carol, I could break it as simple as that.
Hey, brother
Jime
Salim, can
kujibu.
I expand a little bit on it?
So when
Yes,
oh,
yes, yes, my brother.
so in
No, Kamau is
essence,
here. Kamau is
Let me
here.
let me let me expand it a little bit. Maybe it can make a little bit more sense.
Kamau, just
Jesus,
wait a minute. Just wait. Let me just understand something.
sure.
Um, I get what Salim is saying. For you to experience oneself, you produce an exact copy of yourself. Okay, I can understand that, but um, in essence, what we would be saying is that what we have grown up knowing about Christ manifesting in order to save the world would be false. Is that what we are saying? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I don't know if are you getting me? Yes, for me, I will say, Jesus, that what we have grown to be taught, like manifesting into flesh is Jesus coming down here to save the world. It is not that, because this world has never been saved. The worst place you want to be in this universe is the worst place you want to be. This world has never been saved. Jesus didn't come to save the world. He has never saved the world. Never. And no one is going anywhere with anyone's name. People, no one is going anywhere. Actually, I believed in Jesus. Did you work upon yourself? No. Go back, start density. That is the thing. It is never Jesus. People, Jesus clearly told us, hey, people, don't look at me. Of my own, I can do nothing. I do of the Father, people, of the Christ. I do of the Christ. Of myself, Jesus, I can do nothing. I do of the Christ. Carol, I'm sorry to tell you, it is a scam. That is the biggest scam. This world has never been saved. People are dying in Russia and Ukraine right now. Afghanistan, it's a scam. Jesus didn't come to save the world. It could not be messed up like this the way it is right now.
Hey, brother, can I
Yes,
speak
brother,
on
come
it
on.
a little bit? Can I expand
Yes,
on a little
yes,
bit?
yes, Kamau. Yeah,
All right.
feel free, my brother.
My understanding and pertaining to the question is, why did Jesus manifest, the word manifest itself in flesh, and also in pertaining to, is it a lie that Jesus manifested or was manifested in flesh to come down here and save the world? My understanding is, the reason for Jesus to manifest as flesh is to, again, to be the other, like Brother Salim was saying, is to show man or woman that they have the same power as Jesus did. They had the same Christ in them as Jesus did. If Jesus came as an angel, uh, they would have missed the point. They ended up missing the point anyway. But that was the point for them not to miss it, or for humankind not to miss the fact that they are also capable to be just Jesus, or they're also capable to do what Jesus did. And also, in a sense, he did come to try and correct or save. Again, there's always some truth in the lie. If you look at the lie, the truth is always kind of covered up with a lie. In a sense, it did come to kind of enlighten humans or enlighten mankind as to their power. Like, look, I am like you. I was born of flesh like you are. I am also God. So you are also God, and you are capable of doing everything that I am capable of doing. So, yes, in essence, my understanding is the reason why he manifested himself as flesh is to be very clear, not to cause any confusion or not to cause any you know, any doubt as pertaining to what a man is capable of doing, and that's why he came as a man, and also to create or to bring about the awareness, bring about uh, uh, to show what man is capable of doing. And in essence, you can say, yes, he came to save mankind from himself. But in essence, he ended up getting even more, confused. Like, they missed the whole point and did exactly what he was not intending for people to do, which is take him as a deity or somebody who is special, who is not just like everybody else or not just like mankind. And they took it, and actually the guy even lost. God lost father. Then what he intended them to kind of be aware of. So I don't know if I'm making sense in that way, or rather, that's my understanding of the two questions.
Yeah, actually, you it's very clear. It's a precise, very concise and precise and concise. And actually, you just made it more clearer because it is the same thing. Like he he like yes, born out of a human like you, and I am God. So you guys, like Jesus came here to awaken us to how magnificent we are. He didn't come here to humble us. He was telling us like, guys, hey guys, you can do all this greater than this. You are gods. It's even written in your law. Is it not written there, guys? You forgot. It's just in your laws there, and you're forgetting. It was not about Jesus himself, like as Jesus. Jesus was a man. Jesus was just a man, a physical man. That's why he bled when he was crucified. Let me tell you, if he was an angel, yeah. Let me tell you one thing. There is one thing which people should not be deceived about. Let me tell you one thing. Jesus was a physical man. He could do energy tricks like any other guru, but he could not, like, you are being crucified, that blood won't come out. They will crucify air. Never. He was a man. You are being awakened. That, listen, guys, ye are gods. This is the grander secret which has been hidden to humanity. This is the grander reason this has been hidden from humanity. You are made to feel as lesser beings. People, you are guardians. This human race is the guardians of the universe. The guardians, people. This thing I'm telling people, you ask yourself questions and questions. Why are we here? What is all about this? What is this place? What is going on here? Why are all these dramas? Is it flat? Is it round? What is all this? Is it a prison? Is it a mental asylum? Because everyone is crazy here. Everyone is crazy. From ward number 1 to ward number 9. Those who are in ward number 9, they are yet to get well. Those who are ward number 1, those are in chains. This is what happens. People will get out from ward number 9 in this mental asylum of us. Will get out from ward number 9, and they will go down and listen to those in ward number 1 and number 2. Your political leaders and religious leaders. They are in chains. They are in ward 1 and ward 2. You are the one who is left even to play football outside. You are going to seek counsel to people of ward 1 and 2. So we have to ask ourselves, what is this place? Because there's a lot of stories, and these stories, it is like, let me tell you this is how they have hidden the story of this place. Because no matter what you have been told, no matter what you have learned, you no one there is no one who knows what this place is. Like, not the place actually as a place, but there is no one who knows what a human is, what this place is. Why? What is this place? What is this place at? The other time I was telling Sheila, I'm going to give you this galactic story. This place. But one thing, these are stories, they're opinions of other people, they can be opinions of other beings. All truths are half truths. The grander truth resides within you. We are just sharing this, so that we at least we have that broader perspective, and then we play around with everything. Then you break your head yourself, getting deeper answers. This place was said to be a prison planet. A prison planet how? A prison planet where in the galactic, like this is the committee. Like this galaxy, this is the committee with souls, the crazy souls from everywhere where they stayed. Those crazy souls, they are brought here to finish their sentence and graduate. Let me tell you one thing before I proceed. Anything which is perceived in the consciousness, it exists. So when that one is said that this is a place where all souls in the galaxy where they fail, they're brought here, or where they rebel, they are brought here for lessons. This is a prison planet because it has been said like that. It has been said. It is valid. Let me tell you one thing. Anything which can be perceived, you can never perceive anything which is not in the consciousness. Anything, if something does not exist in the consciousness, you can never perceive it. That's why everything is valid. Those people who are they are working with the perception of hell, it is valid. Those who working with the God of love, my God, me, is a God of love. He doesn't have a resting place. It is valid. anything which is perceived in the consciousness, it is valid because what is not in the consciousness cannot be perceived. Anything, immediately you perceive anything, it is there for you. It is available in big time. You perceive God of anger, He's there, abundance. God of judgment in plenty. God of wrath in trailers, abundance. With anything, you say when you die, you go to hell. That is what your soul will experience. Hell real with. And people are very crazy. Some people say the devil does not exist. It's all about love and light. Everyone is experiencing their own reality. This is one thing people should know. Everyone is experiencing their own reality. That's why everything which is perceived in the consciousness is valid. If me and my wife is believing in the God of hell and hellfire, and me, my God, I know is my God of love. There is no judgment. If I die, I go back to the source. Let me tell you one thing. She will experience that. This is not a joke, and it is not a drill. I'm telling you the grander truth. Her soul will experience that. Other souls, the the road to hell is this one with fire. You see the furnace of fire there, and heaven. You are shown this way, and the same way they perceive, same way they perceive, they will experience that. The milk or the land of milk and honey, it is valid, people. It's not a dream. Nothing which is picked in the consciousness is not valid. Everything is valid. Some people say Jesus is just a created character. Other people said he walked. Other people said he was here, but in many, many names. Let me tell you one thing. All of them are valid. Everyone is experiencing their own reality. You pick your reality, it is yours. For you, if Jesus didn't exist, he did not exist. No judgment. There is no judgment. For someone else, Jesus existed. Well and good. It is for real. Very valid too. To someone else, the devil does not exist to them. This is a grander reality, a very grander reality to them. The devil does not exist. People, everyone is experiencing their own reality. We have never been taught what this place is. We are in just confused, running up and down. We have never been told what this place is, because everyone is experiencing their own reality differently. Reality every time, every single moment, like at every 1 second. If it is checked, everyone is experiencing their own reality. No one is experiencing anyone's reality. Ask ourselves sensitive questions.
So, what would be truth in this case?
That is a very tricky question. But let me see how I can answer it. What is the truth? What is the truth? Do you know the meaning of truth? There is, I will tell you one thing. There is only one truth. Carol, there is only one truth. Ask anywhere. There is only one truth. And this truth is God. Take it if you can take it. There is only one truth. And this truth is God. And everything is God. This one, I'm telling you, Carol, these things need us need us to take time. We are very, 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 very far away. I don't know how we are going to perceive these things. I don't know how. I don't know after how long is this. I don't know if it is this generation or what. Because it's not what we think, man. It's not. And we are very far. We are very, 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 very far because the whole thing, the whole thing. I don't know how to explain it. Let me see. Let me see. The whole thing. The existence itself. Existence itself is something. It's a mystery. Like it's something known, like unknown. Like uh, let me. I We cannot understand it for now. Let me tell you, we cannot understand. That's why I tell people, just let us seek God, but let us not give him definition because all, in short, all what you have been taught of the reality and whatever you have been taught, just wash it and just go with the knowing nothingness and be with yourself and ask yourself questions. You'll get the answers, and these answers will not be able to tell anyone because I have got answers, but I don't know how to formulate. I have got an answer for that, but I cannot formulate it. It's in words, but I I don't know. Hey, ask yourself this question. People, just go deep within yourself. Ask yourself this question. There is grander truth, which we have not been taught, and which we have to seek from within. Do not take anything from outside as your final answer. Do not, if you don't want to be deceived. Carol, you want to speak
I'm
something? You have
listening
unmuted.
keenly. I'm listening keenly.
Hey, Carol,
And it
Carol, this one
what what
is
is
not.
what is
It's not.
amazing.
It's not a jigsaw, neither a crossword puzzle. This is something else. It needs you to go
I,
deep within. When I tell people to go
I
deep within, go deep within, people.
I understand,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Salim. I understand, and that is why I keep asking the questions I'm asking, because there are some things that even from what I've been taught and what I've been reading has never really added up. Yeah. And some of what you have said have also caused me to really look at it, because it's all in terms of interpretation. Uh, the scripture that you rightfully quoted made me even start thinking, by the way, I've never looked at it from that angle, that many will come in my name and say that I am Christ. For the longest of time, I've been of the one saying that many people will come and say that they are Christ. That and the warning was that we should not follow. That has been my general outlook of that scriptures. But when you um, shared, it made me start thinking, okay, that's a different interpretation that I've never considered. So I will consider that, because uh, as you keep telling us, the only place that you can get answers is asking within yourself those very questions, and you listen to God and He will answer.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Anyone?
And then the
I'm not
second bit of
getting.
it is this. Um, Majority of what you say is hidden, is out in the public eye, because if there's a scripture in the Word of God that says you are gods, it continues to say that, but you will die as mere men. Why? Because as gods we have no understanding uh, that we are gods, so we've been operating
Look,
from the level
can
of the
anyone
flesh.
hear me?
I can hear you, Salim. Can you hear me? Can anyone else hear me?
We
I
can
can
hear
hear.
you, but Salim, I don't think Salim is hearing us. I think he's all by himself somewhere.
By himself.
Yeah.
So,
In the galactic race, you know.
He got kidnapped. Brother
Hey, I'm
Salim,
back.
where you at?
I got disconnected. Yeah,
Okay.
I
yeah,
got disconnected with my laptop. Yeah,
uh,
I just found the last laugh. Can you tell me now? Can you repeat it? And I want to laugh.
I was saying that
Yeah.
um, what is hidden is very in the open. That's what I was saying, because the same scriptures that I know say, "You are gods, but you will die as mere men." And from what you have been teaching us is that many of us are not aware that we are gods, and we are not aware of the power that is within us and what we are able to fully do or fully be expressed through us, because we are so used to operating from the natural man. Okay, so um, it is just a matter of going back within ourselves and asking those key questions. Because yes, we are gods, we are created in his image and likeness, but none of us is operating at that realm. None of us is, we are still waiting on him to make it happen for us. So that is a reality that many are man, not even necessarily a per se believers. It's just knowing who you are and then operating. So many of us are yet to get to that level of operation. Okay. And you made me laugh when you said that when people are going around saying that I've gotten a house, I've gotten a car, and that's a testimony, and you're like, you wait until you teleport, then come and tell me that is a testimony. And you see, those are realities that we have to face. That we can teleport, but not many of us are teleporting. The ones who are teleporting are those who are considered to be in the
Until you
negativity.
meditate, like you,
Mhm.
and
You see,
unless you
so
are in spirituality, you do meditation. Something which you're supposed to tap like this. Just I'm
yes,
teleporting. I'm going to Sheila's place, and
it should be our natural state of being, but many of us are not there. So it is just coming to that realization of who we are, and you keep saying acting, acting. We are in rehearsal. When we
yeah,
are here on earth, we are in a
you have to act
rehearsal
like a
of
god,
being
to become a god.
like a God. Yes. So it is just that reality that needs to sink to many people, because once it sinks, then and hence my question. You see, if Enoch would walk with God, what was this kind of walk that he walked until he was no
Yes,
more? You see, those are some of the
yes,
questions that I keep asking myself. What was this kind of a walk? He had been in existence as a human being for 65 years. He gave birth to Methuselah. Then he started a walk with God, and the walk was to the level that he did not die. God took him. So those are some of the questions that I keep asking myself, even as I am in this group, to have a greater understanding of what needs to be done and all that. And when
can you
something that
okay,
Kamau
can I
said
cut you?
also struck a note
Okay,
in my head when he was saying that Christ came to just save us from our own selves, and remind us of who we really are. Yeah. N- because now if we start going into the lies and the untruths, it will be a different conversation. But that also resonated because if he came not to really save us, as we've been told, but to remind us of our godly nature, eh, then I understand the scriptures that say, greater things shall you do. Greater things shall you do. Yeah. Because I can look at him, act like him, and be able to do the greater things. So it's really a matter of going back deep inside of us, asking those key questions, and waiting for the same answers to come within. So that is my
And
take.
they will
But
always
as we,
come. Answers will always answers will always come. Answers will always come. It's because we have never gone within. Answers will always come, but they will. Yes, Sheila,
All of us, what we
Sheila,
have
you
to
unmuted.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can hear me now.
Yes.
What we have to remember is, let me pick it up from the point of saying why Jesus came. What we have to remember was that Jesus was the bridge. He was the bridge from the old dispensation, and then he was bringing us into a new level of understanding. From the very beginning, when you look at it, the way we have been conditioned, there's a way we have been conditioned, even with religion, when it comes to our belief of who God is and our belief of what we are. So our mindset has been cast in a way that is wrong. So from the get-go, we realize that at some point, the consciousness or that level of understanding of who we are and what God is was lost. So at some point, we see the manifestation of Jesus. And as Jesus comes, now Jesus brings in a new order. And the new order was a disruption of the old order. And the old order was the order that was cast in stone, that was cast in religion, that put us in a wrong light concerning who God is, at least for the children of Israel, the initial ones who failed to be able to make the transition, or according to what the Bible says anyway. Then you realize that anytime we fail to make the transition, there is a form of distraction that occurs in our lives. We get destroyed in terms of our mind being rigid or our mind being stuck in an old way of thinking. And that old way of thinking, because we don't embrace that God is a now God, that faith is now, it is in the now, it's in the conscious living and understanding in the present moment, not being stuck in what was there yesterday, not being stuck in what was there, you know, of what Christ said more than 2,000 years ago, and yet God reveals himself to us every morning. So let me come back to every moment. Let me come back to Jesus. Jesus comes to introduce the Father to us, or God to us, and then introduce us to ourselves. And he begins to to enlighten us, to bring us to another level of consciousness, to give us, to lead us into another level of understanding. And when this happens, we see the transformation. But let me take you back to the point where Jesus was like, it is important for me to go. It is important, it is imperative for me to go, because if I go, then you will get a helper. Who is this helper? The Spirit, or the Spirit will come, because then the Spirit will lead you into all truth. The Spirit will guide you into the path of the paths that you've not been before. The Spirit is the one that will enable you to walk and to do those things that I have done, and even much more greater when this Spirit comes. So there we are seeing the presence of Christ being removed, but then we're seeing the introduction of the Spirit of God to us, or the eternal Spirit, the Spirit that is able to search the past, get us with at the present moment, and then automatically connect us into the future that we do not know. That is what the Spirit of God does. So what am I saying? For us to be able to manifest. There's an aspect of manifestation. When he said that we will do greater works than this, there was a need for manifestation. There was a need for us to be able to exhibit our grandeur as gods, to exhibit our grandeur as the channels, the channeling of the attributes of God, the channeling of what it is that we are able to do, we that are of God, we that are in God, we that are able to do it through God, with God. That is the manifestation that we're being called into. But there has to be a conscious unveiling or a conscious shedding of the mindset of yesterday. Now we have come from that place where there's been religion. And when I say religion, I'm not just talking about one, the letter, there's the aspect of the letter. Because the letter without the spirit will destroy you. The letter, if you're just going to look at the logos word, the word that is there, that is written, if the spirit will not come and give you insight and give you revelation and give you understanding, then you become limited. That's one. Then there's the aspect of now you having to let go of that mindset, cast off that mindset. Now, when I say about religion, there was that aspect of that which is written, the written word that without the spirit will destroy you. And then there's now the other aspect of religion in terms of where it is that we are at right now, like those that are spiritually alert, quote unquote. Now, for people, many of us that have been in the, or who are in the Pentecostal move, we have to now transcend the former mindset that we have had, the mindset that has limited us to how we understood God, how we see God, how we move in God, how we relate with God. Because even with that which we are having, unless we morph every other day and embrace a new path of the Spirit, of the walk of the Spirit, then we become stagnant. Why do I mean that? Let's take it to a couple of years ago, the Smith Wigglesworth. These guys that did, the Azusa Street, these guys did extraordinary work. So somebody would walk and cities would be changed. There would be revival that is changed. There would be healings that are done. People would come and all this and all that. What happens that now for us that are there as present day followers of Christ, or those that are saying that are led of the Spirit? What is happening? There's an aspect of our minds that need to be renewed, that cast off this mold of limitation that has been put within us. Now, when we awaken to this reality, when we awaken that there is a deeper walk, and the thing of the fact of the matter is, there are people who are walking on water today. They are there. Now, listen to a believer. A believer will say, what? No, those are demonic, right? There are people who are teleporting today. There are people who are able to communicate with telepathy. There are people who are already coming together and talk about energy healing. They are able to manipulate healing energy and be able to manifest it because they walk in love, they walk in light, they walk in truth, they walk in oneness, in the beingness, in the consciousness of activating their spirit being to the levels that they are now grasping and enforcing that which is divine in the natural. You and I that are religious will say, no, 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 no. If it's not said in the name of Jesus, then it's not. It is not acceptable. Yet these people are going, it's demonic. Yet these people are going in realms that many of us that are quote unquote spiritual are not operating in. We are not manifesting. We are not moving in that authority or in that dominion because of our inability to be able to manifest or to give the spirit expression in our lives or through our lives because of the mindset that we are having. So there is need of you and I to cast away, all of us to cast away the shadow or that mold that has been. There has to be a renewal of our mind. There has to be a conscious shunning or a letting go or a getting out of this mold, because it's a mold that is intentional based on how religion is, because now there are different forms of religion. It's just a way. Religion is all about having a way that is cast of doing things. There's a way that you now walk in. I was sharing with Salim the other day that when he was talking about, no, even in prayer, you don't even need to. And I would remember I was listening to him, and I kept on asking myself, so now if you say like that, but now how do you pray? Because you know very well that you enter into his gates with thanksgiving, into his courts with praise, and then come, and then we go into the lever, you start repenting, and then come into the inner court, outer court, and then come into the inner court where you do adoration, and then you come into the holy of holies where you do ministration to him, and then you get, as in, it's so mechanically laid out, even in your spirit being, that now you have to now get into that place of disconnecting yourself, literally disconnecting that which you have embraced to be the norm, and you have embraced the fact that that is the ultimate. And what I have been seeing in my place of prayer is that now, even without gimmicks, just drawing and tapping into the spirit of God in me, and just connecting with the spirit, you flow in the gifts that you are in. You're able to speak, and even just a minute, without too many gimmicks, without too much drama, without too many theatrics, these things that we are used to, as in, you just transcend and you move and you keep on doing, and you do. It's that easy. So there has to be a consciousness of us guys now getting to that place of saying, you know what, spirit, you're here, you are here, you're the eternal spirit, you're the one that is able to help me decode, to manifest that which is in me, that is of you in me. And then as you yield and you flow with the spirit, you are led into new paths, you're led into higher heights, you go deeper into deeper depths, because then you have given the spirit free reign. So ours is to remember Christ came, and even when he came to introduce us to himself, even to ourselves, even as you have said, Carol. Because then when he introduced us to ourselves, and he was there, and he said, we will do greater. And when he said he will do greater, it is not now a function, because now in the desperation of manifestation, because we have failed to understand the secret of our being in him, of walking in that consciousness. That's why you will see people who are of the kingdom but are not part of the kingdom, because we are told in the Bible that we will go and say, didn't we pray? Didn't we cast devils? Didn't we what? And he will say, depart from me, I know you not. Why? Because then in the desperation of us guys wanting to do the miraculous, we go about it in the wrong way. How do you go about it in the wrong way? We go and now look for negative entities to give us the power. People go and are doing are getting charms to be able to do these things, and they are enabled through these other entities, when in essence the Spirit of God is here within you to help you to go into those paths, for as long as somebody is willing to be led into a deeper path. So for those that are already manifesting it, for those that are healing water, they are healing environments, they are coming together. People are moving in. I mean, there's crazy stuff going out here. I mean, extraordinary stuff that people are also just sitting and breathing on oxygen and surviving on oxygen, and they are okay, and they are busy manifesting and doing what it is that they can do. And you begin to see that the Spirit of God does not know race, does not know class, does not know religion, because the call is the call of going deeper in the spirit. That's why somebody, you listen to Sadhguru and you think, okay, I think you're more speaking more of the teachings of who Christ was, and you're listening to this, and you're listening to this other person, because then the Spirit of God in you, or the Spirit within you, bears witness of that which is the truth that is resonating from that which is being taught, and you connect with it, and you realize that, hey, this is another level that people are flowing in, and this is a person who is of the kingdom. I was telling somebody this week, I said, look, I have sat next to people who are tongue speakers, who are devil chasers, who are Bible believing, anointing, Karabasho Koto Romando, people full of the power for the hour, they say. But when you sit with them, there is no Spirit of God in them. They do not walk in the aspect or in the element of the kingdom. And you can sit with them. And yet I have sat next, and I have walked, or I have or have interacted with an Indian with a bindi, that thing here on the forehead, that thing that Indians put, and you sit with an Indian and you realize that they are flowing in the essence of the presence of God. So there has to be an awakening, a conscious awakening of us as people to get to the level of understanding that look, it's not what it is that we think it is. And especially when it comes to getting so familiar with that which we have thought to be true and embracing it as facts and embracing it as the only option, then we limit ourselves from getting into new realms of insight and understanding or consciousness. We limit the spirit because the spirit will not force you. The spirit is not going to take away the free will that you and I have, but the spirit will leave us to it until at that time when we probably encounter a truth and then we embrace it, and then like a dominoes effect, it opens up us up to something else. We continue staying in these things, in these levels that we see and that we are wondering and just looking at things and not really acing it. So Christ is here to take us to that new level. The Spirit was here to, I mean, he was here to reveal to us, and his part was done. But it's not about Christ anymore. It's about the place of the Spirit, because we were told that in the latter times, the only way we shall stand is through the place of the Spirit. So as much as the Bible has been plagiarized and all these other things, there are those things that are universal laws. There are those things that are universal truths when we talk about how the mind, that whatsoever it is that you believe, he says, look, before you, I have put life and death, I've put blessing and cursing. Choose life that you may live. Choose. You're given a conscious, you can make a conscious choice of the kind of life that you desire, so that you and your children and your generation after can live. But how many of us even walk in that revelation? As a man thinketh in his heart, I asked somebody the other day, how is it that you're thinking in your heart? I thought people think with their head. How is it that now you're told, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he? And it's as simple as that, and you're there looking, and we keep on saying, oh God, if it is your will for me. He says, whatsoever you ask, when the two of you come together, you agree, it is established. I mean, these things are in the Bible. But you see, when we fail to now embrace truths from the place of the Spirit, because then, as we say, we see in part, we know in part, unless we are able to connect and flow with the Spirit, we continue walking in limitation. We continue walking in seeing things from one aspect and yet canceling the other or disqualifying ourselves from the other, because we have a linear way of thinking. We have a path that we have put or cast, we have been put in, or we have this mold that is there in our minds, that is even worse, even in our spirit, that has been there, that now directs how we engage, even when we're saying we are in the spiritual, we are now engaging wrongly. And in this consciousness of an awakening, let me skip on the other side. We have seen even people that are now embracing the paths of pursuing that which is so behind. You're seeing people saying, no, we go back to our roots, we go back to praying. That is just part of it. Where we're going, it's not necessary, it's just part of it. You do not have to now come out from where you're coming out to go back and pray to trees or pray to, I don't know, mountains. No, because we're not in that dispensation anymore. That can stand as one of the pillars or one of the tenets of what the work is all about, the spirit walk is all about. But we don't go back, we go forward. Why? Because there's so much more of God that you and I have not been able to experience. And God is not short of manifesting what godliness is, or what divinity is, or what that which is spiritual or everlasting, that is of God, is. God is not limited, but we limit him in our understanding. And even in, not only in our understanding, as a result of our understanding, in our pursuit of that which we say is of God, because then our minds and our spirits are just bound in this mold. So let us embrace that which is of us. Let us embrace the parts, higher parts. Every day wake up like you know nothing. Every day wake up as a blank wall. Every day wake up like a whitewashed tomb. Just become that whitewashed tomb that doesn't know nothing. And then present yourself before the Spirit of God and say, Spirit of God, I am here. What do you have for me today? What new do you have for me today? And you'll be surprised that as you engage with the day, as you move with that which is there that unfolds itself. And I like the fact that this is something that we had also discussed before. I know we've said it in private with Salim when we are discussing, but even in this war, we have shared before about how the day is presented, or how issues or things that happen to us come to us when they are neutral. And even I think earlier Salim also said, so the day is presented to us as neutral, but we can form it. We can be those creative beings. Yeah, we can be those creative beings, because that which is of the Spirit is of the Spirit. That which is born of the Spirit is of the Spirit. That which is of God, that which is born of God is God. That which is of God, sees and understands and knows that which is God. But we cannot say we are gods. What did God do? He created. So the way, and when Dolores was saying we have to manipulate energy, manipulating energy is being able to bring forth a creative aspect to who you are. Create the world that you want. Create the marriage that you want. Create the family that you want. Create the business that you want. Create the person that you want. Because when you look at yourself, as we were talking about earlier, you can actually form yourself into life. Possible. It is very, very possible that we can walk in the fullness of that. We can actually walk in the fullness of the Spirit of God for us, so that then as we are embracing that, manifesting that which we would desire by the power of the Spirit, then we can control, because it's all about energy. It's all about the vibration. Where are we vibrating? So if we are vibrating judgmentalism, hatred, I don't know, all these things that are shallow, we remain ukuchini. But when we flow, because love is one of the highest frequencies when it comes to living out the life that we desire. Love is one of the highest frequencies that there is. So when we embrace that, when we begin to manifest that, we manifest our godliness, we manifest our purity, we manifest our consciousness, we manifest our divinity. And then as we do that, then we keep on graduating, we keep on growing to the point that you can hear something, and you can, from wherever you are, you can speak a word and it is quenched, it is quelled. By the way, it's possible that we can say, and we do this. That's why we come together, and at the end of the sharing, we do the meditations. Why? Because we can come together in the Spirit. There is no time, there is no space. In the Spirit, there is no limitation of the difference in time zones. We are here, and like Kamau is in the US, and somebody else is in Nigeria, and somebody else is, I don't know, in Dubai or whatever. There is no difference in the Spirit. It happens real time. That if we now walk with that conscious understanding, nothing can be denied us. For me, I have now realized that the power to be able to create the world that I want, and I'm not wasting it. I'm not wasting it in negativity. I'm not wasting it in limitation. I'm not wasting it in expectation. I'm not wasting it in just in perception. In visualization. What am I visualizing? Because as I see it, as I think it, as I desire it, I am actually creating it. So being able to consciously create and getting ourselves out of that place, especially sorry, I'm taking too much time, but let me just exhaust. But being able to, like now, especially for us as believers, we believe that there are these times and seasons when God has ordained that we should suffer, that we should have lack, that we are waiting on God to. We are waiting on God. When in actual sense, in essence, our breakthrough is within us. The channel of transformation, the catalyst of transformation is within us ourselves. Aided by the Spirit of God, you can get to that place where we remove the yoke of oppression. It's there in the Bible, that you shall be a servant. unto the master, but to unto your masters. But the day that you get tired, you will remove that yoke from off your shoulder, and you will be able to do what? To have the victory that you need, or the deliverance that you need. So awakening to that consciousness that your life is in your hand. You're your own God. You're your own creator. You're the one who is there determining the quality of life you will lead. And when you have, and when you realize, when that understanding, that deeper consciousness comes, that you have renounced yourself, you have committed yourself to live this lowly life, you have actually resigned yourself, you have embraced living that lowly life. You and I have embraced living that life that is limited. You and I have embraced living that life that really has a lack, or, and we are struggling here, we are doing that, we have embraced it. But when you awaken to the consciousness, you begin now to rewrite that narrative. You change that story. You're like, look, this marriage is not going to be the kind of marriage that I want. The kind of spouse that I want is this. The kind of business that I want, the kind of family I want is this. The kind of environment I want in my immediate environment is this. The kind of people that I want in my immediate environment is this. So you begin to send out the vibration that you desire with the words that you're speaking, because your words have power. And not only are your words, you're here thinking in your heart, so it is. You're thinking in your heart consistently. And like the way it evaporates, the water evaporates, and then the clouds become thick. And then when the cloud becomes thick and they become heavy, it rains. Sometimes it rains real time. Sometimes it takes longer, because maybe the universe is looking at you and thinking, are you really for this? Or because when we start, we fumble. But the more we work it out, the more we do it, the more we manifest it, you gather more and more faith, you gather more and more zeal, you gather more and more drive, when you understand that, hey, by the way, that particular issue, I thought I sat and I did this and I created it and I manifested it. And the Spirit of God, through the Spirit, when you are there busy doing that which you are doing, and the power of creation manifests through you, then you have more confidence to continue doing greater works than that which you have done. The power of change is within us. The power of transformation is within us. And as I'm saying this, I'm not just saying to you, I'm saying to myself, because that is who I am and what I am in this season. I am complete.
Wazi Sheila Toya. Brother Kamau, anything to add?
Uh, well, me, what I can say is, the sister there
Somebody else can
is,
take. Yeah.
um, can you hear me?
Hey,
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what I can say is, my experience has been, I used to hate Jesus. I mean, every time their word was mentioned anywhere near me, I would feel very angry, like, because I didn't understand. Uh, it didn't feel right. What was happening was, it felt that the information that was being given was wrong. And again, the mistake I was making was just to just doubt it and ignore it, right? Just not even question it. And what I have realized, or what have been very empowering, or have really helped me on my journey, is to ask the questions. Ask the questions, like the sister there, Carol, was saying. Asking questions is very important. No matter how uncomfortable they might seem, it's very important to ask questions. And I think most of us have been dormant, or have been kind of in the darkness, because we don't question what is being presented to us. A lot of the information, again, has a lot of lot of truth to it, but it's always when the truth is presented, you find people who take their truth and use it to their benefit. And the way they do that, they have to kind of twist it or kind of cover it with some lies in order to they use the truth, so their way it would definitely kind of attract a lot of people. However, they have to find a way to kind of twist it to be able to control their narrative or to control the truth to their benefit, and that's what we have been fed, or that's what have been presented to us, is the truth twisted in a way that uh, some people are benefiting from it while most people are being controlled by it rather. So again, me personally, what I have noted or what have helped me a lot is to really ask questions. And again, most of the questions have been asking myself. Some of the questions that I asked got me in a lot of trouble. Uh, Especially in churches and places of worship and places like that. But again, that would be the only way. The key to knowing is to realize how much you don't know and then to start asking questions. And again, it becomes almost like a domino effect. Things just started opening up once you start asking questions, once you start getting ready, once you start aligning yourself, things start opening up for you. I mean, you'd be surprised how things just um, uh, how doors and how ways and how answers just come about. They could come to you through the least expected way, right? Like that you might ask a question, but the answer might come to you in the least expected way. So again, being aware, like constantly being aware, constantly looking, constantly searching, constantly asking questions, and especially again going in within and just asking yourselves these questions, looking for answers in places that you would not expect. It could be maybe one of these talks, it could be a song, it could be a movie, it could be a child who says something, it could be something you read. They all come in different ways. And as long as you are aware, uh, one thing I've noted personally, because I can only, speak out of experience. It's the only way that I like to grow, or I like to learn, is through my own experience. Even when somebody tells me something and as truthful as it sounds, I still take it as a grain of salt. Or a grain of take it, not take it literally like for what it is, and until I'm able to experience uh, it for myself, then I'm able to say, hey, that truth can hold, because again, it's not something that I've just been told or something that I just believe in. Uh, it's something that I have experienced, and that will be the only way that somebody can say that is the total truth, because you have experienced it. But again, we are living in some very, very exciting times right now. The energies are extremely, extremely beneficial to us at this time. So I truly, honestly um, believe or understand or know for a fact that anybody who is searching will definitely get the answer. This is the time for it. I've searched for a long time. Well, I wasn't consistent, but I was searching here and there. I started searching when I was a little child because things didn't really make sense. But what I was doing is I was ignoring. I would see something that, hey, that doesn't make sense. And instead of dipping or going deeper into it to find why, I would ignore it and just hate that, whatever that did not make sense, whether it was church, whether it was school, whether whatever. I would just hate it and say, you know what, I don't like it, and I hate it, and I'm not even focusing on it, and I'm shutting down on it. And again, that's the wrong way to approach it. But again, now I'm finding that it does not take much for most of the questions that I've asked all my life for answers to be reviewed, and it can even be overwhelming, right? There can be so much of it. Like if you listen to Brother Salim sometime, you might get overwhelmed because he come with so much information that if you're not patient, it can lead to somebody just being overwhelmed by the information. But again, you know, meditation, just being aware, being in love, just searching and being truly in quest of what it is that you are searching for and not just believing anything, the answers will definitely be revealed because all of us, we have the same capability to be able to access these answers. However, one thing I've noted is you have to be ready for the answers to come to you. They cannot just be given to you because, again, some of this information can be very powerful, can be very overwhelming. If you don't know how to handle it, it will not be reviewed to you. So, one thing that I'm learning now is the importance of being aligned or being in a state where whatever it is that's going to be revealed to you or whatever it is that you're going to uh, come into awareness to, you are ready to be able to accept or to be able to receive it. And there where you can keep elevating. Uh, some of them can be very painful, right? It can come with some painful experiences. It can come with some very beautiful experiences. So all of it, you gotta take it as it comes, right? Because again, people are different. We have different blockages. We have different states where we are in, right? So again, depending on where somebody is, me personally, my journey has been that way. It has been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of pains, and a lot of beautiful experiences and energies, right? So I know for a fact that as I continue, I'm seeing, oh man, I'm seeing some things and I'm experiencing some wonderful energy, some wonderful experiences, some wonderful information, and even some that I have came across before. However, I wasn't ready for that information. It came and it passed. It didn't make sense then. Now, what I'm realizing is I might get just even a sentence and it might just open a Pandora box of something that I learned or something that I was exposed to many years ago. And I go back and, it kind of connect and I'm able to kind of get the answers of what it is that I was seeking. But yeah, it's some very, very exciting times that we are living in today. Like Queen Sheila was saying, there's a lot of energies, a lot of people who have the capabilities, have those, you know, they are able to do things that, could be looked as if they were either demonic or magical or even whatever you want to call them, but they are doing them at ease. And furthermore, if you look at the children who are born nowadays, you will realize that they are not just regular children. They are very advanced. They are so advanced that it would surprise you just paying attention to the children. Those can be one of the biggest teachers that a lot of people don't realize. But they are here for a reason, and they are doing. I mean, just a baby. It's a small baby. Just observing a small baby, you will realize that this is not a baby. This is a being that is very advanced because they don't even behave like babies anymore. They're behaving like somebody who is way advanced than me and you, or than what I know for uh, people to be. But again, yeah, these are some very exciting times, and I'm very excited to be here in this time and just experiencing it all.
To chime in on what you're saying, KK, when you're talking about it depends on your ability. What ideally I've realized is that when truth comes and you take that truth and you chew on it, you ponder on it, you embrace it. First of all, you embrace it, you accept it, you embrace it, and then you take it further, you transmute it, you transform it into insight, into knowledge that or wisdom nuggets that you don't just know, but you allow to dwell richly within you. Then you find that your inner being expands. It's kind of like going to the gym, that when you are in the gym, you might not be able to run like, or to do push-ups, but you can start fumbling when you're doing 5 and you're really fumbling, going up, down. And then the more you keep at it, doing the 5, you find you go to 10. So the more your spirit being gets expanded by you exercising or utilizing or transmuting that which is knowledge. When you transmute knowledge, it turns into wisdom. How? By you embracing, you have embraced it, you have accepted it, and then, you have accepted, you embrace it, and then now you're turning it into knowledge that you are now applying or you're allowing to have its place in you and transform you. Then you realize that your capacity increases. So when your inner being increases, the capacity of you to be receptive to that which is foreign. It's like a child. When we are weaning them, you give them a little bit when they're used to milk. You give them milk, and then when you want to start introducing them into, you are winning them into another diet. You don't, the spirit of God, as we keep on saying, as above so below, as within so without. So you realize that the spirit will begin to give you small dosage of truth. Yeah, we start lacing the food with Cerelac for the children, or with a little bit of Wimbi Unga for those of us that are parents. We start lacing it in the milk so that it becomes a little bit more heavier. Their stomach is able to acknowledge it, to take it, and then to run with it. The stomach is able to work with it, and there'll be no constipation. It's the same thing with us in the spirit being, that we keep on getting small morsels of truth that are shocking, that might be shocking to the system, but when they are released into our spirit in small doses, the more your inner being or your spiritual digestive system becomes more adept by you taking, and then you absorbing it, and then you transmuting it. The more you do, then the more your ability to take on the new meal or the new diet increases. So that increases you when you are at a place of total abandonment, when you're at a place of total, you have surrendered fully. You've surrendered fully to the work of the season. You have surrendered fully to the leading of the Spirit. You realize that now what happens is that you now become totally free, totally available for the Spirit to move within you. Yeah, you are able to now receive much more weightier stuff, much more heavier stuff, much more, you, in fact, some of those things, they don't shock you anymore. They don't shock you anymore. Why? Because you have increased in the capacity to receive that which was foreign. Your spirit man has the ability. And the more you do it, the more you get much more heavier stuff. In fact, these days, I've even stopped getting shocked. Before, the day that I received, I would be on phone with Salim. I will talk, I'll say, this thing, you're like totally slapped into an awakening, a consciousness that is totally, just flows you completely, it knocks you out completely. But these days, I find it so easy. And it's like the things that are coming, I go deeper and deeper and deeper. I just take a moment to be able to absorb it. And then I am able to look at it, within that, with my inner being, with my inner eye, or is it my third eye? I'm able to look at it, to score it, to break it down, bring it, transmute it, that it is food for my inner being, and then I pick up and then I run. So the point of growth comes with our willingness to go. But when we resist, when we do not want to go further, free will is our portion. Free will is the greatest gift that God has given us, or the source has given us, or divine intelligence, whatever it is that you want to call this supreme being, this oversoul that is there. Free will is our blessing, is our gift, and that shall never be taken away from us. But what we have to do is that we have to increase in our capacity to take in, so that we cannot be babies anymore, and we cannot keep on rejecting that which comes, but we have the ability to run, because there's still so much more we haven't even begun to even scratch it. We'll never even begin to scratch it. It's like trying to say we are managing, or we are able to really say that we have had impact. Yes, we will look back and see the growth and the level of consciousness. You find that you walk more in peace. You find that you walk more in power, in authority, in influence, in impact. But you look at it not as a form of having arrived or having accomplished, but you look back and you're like, okay, I've grown. You appreciate yourself in the levels of growth in yourself and within yourself, as you always stand on the precipice of, imagine, that's what I tell myself, I am just on the shore. I'm beginning to start the journey again into the ocean of eternity. I'm not, no matter what I have done, I've not even begun. I'll always be on the shore, on the precipice, just of starting again this discovery of what eternity is and how eternity is. Thank you.